Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network.
And I'm
All right.
mighty tired of your trifling ways.
Gas prices. And believe it or not, by some sheer amount of luck or wizardry, big Harry Potter guy, so maybe, Rupert Grint came out and said expensive petroleum, and all of a sudden everyone got distracted and voted yes. People want change. And everyone's, a keyboard warrior on social media, and they say all their opinions, and they throw stuff out there, they share posts and comment, and they say, we didn't do this, we did that. Those people going to the polls. A lot of things in our lives that you just can't control. One thing you can is your effort into something.
Some of the old songs.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in another edition of Unfiltered here on the Inside Edge Network. Yours truly, Kyle Cornell, with you for the next hour here on Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell. For us, a quick reminder as we get the show going again today, as always, make sure you take the chance and the opportunity to like, subscribe, punch that notification bell over on YouTube to get updates. So make sure you know when we are always heading live here on the Inside Edge Network. You see there at the bottom of your screen, Inside Edge Net. You can follow us on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and everything in between. Also, do not forget, head over to our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's where you can find different info on all the different personalities that are on the network, as well as the show rundown. That's the bottom of your screen, too, with the ticker. Great job from our producers for doing that. And, again, we're talking about this now, guys. A couple weeks left. Need to get 10 total items sold because we have a merch store on the website as well. You see the link right there, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Go there, check it out. Shirts, hats, little windbreaker jackets, polos, got cups, mugs, all this good stuff. If we can get 10 items sold by the end of the month, I get to shave Eli's head, my producer and the assistant program director of the Inside Edge Network, on an episode of Unfiltered. Going to check in with Pete, of course, the Grand Poobah Oz, if you will, for our network later this week and see where we stand on this. But I'm still preaching at least 10. We want to go way above that. We want to sell way more. And to do that, we're giving you that promo code INSIDER. You see that at the bottom of your screen. Again, use that code, get 20% off. Guys, 20% off on some really cool stuff. And you get to rep the network, grassroots organization, grassroots media here in Northeast Ohio. Take the chance, take the opportunity, and get ready to just sit back, relax, and watch me shave someone's head. It's going to be a blast. Do that. Let's make it happen. InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Thank you again so much for tuning in to not only Unfiltered, but the network in its whole. We've got great programming. A couple big interviews with Double A we're going to talk about later on in the show today as well. First, we got to bring it up. How about them Cavs? What a win last night in Detroit. 125, I believe, to 93 or 94. A solid win, a 30-point win on the road for a team that hadn't won a road game until Game 5 of this series, this playoffs. They win back-to-back road games. The Cavaliers now move on to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2018, and the first time since without LeBron since the early 90s. 92 was the last time the Cavs were in the Eastern Conference Finals. They ran into somebody kind of important back then as well. We're not going to say his name because then that means the boogeyman's going to come out. If I say it 3 times, Beetlejuice is going to show up. But nevertheless, Cavs are back into the Eastern Conference Finals. And if you guys watched yesterday, had a half-hour pregame show, a special edition of Unfiltered. I laid out a few points that were kind of points of emphasis. Now, they didn't deliver on one. Duncan Robinson was my number one point. Had to see if he was going to miss. He really didn't. I think he shot almost 60% from 3 in the series, but he only played 22 minutes. He still had 13 points, which is crazy to think about. But his back hampered him. He missed the game, played well in Game 6, and then Game 7 just didn't look like himself. He had some moments, but didn't play enough minutes to really make a difference in the grand scheme of things. But the other 2 things I said needed to happen was, obviously, number one, this is the clip that we circulated across social media too, was Donovan Mitchell had to play like this was the game. This was his most important game of his career. And boy, I'll tell you what, he did it. 26 points, shot nearly 50% from the field, decent percentage from 3, but he also had 6 rebounds and 8 assists. I said I wanted a 25 to 30 point triple-double, and I got pretty damn close. Because that's what the Cavaliers need. They need an all-around performance from their number one star, not just scoring. Maybe once in a while you can get away with that. You can score 40-something in a game, 39 and a half, and you can beat a team by 9 points. But to win games like they did last night in Detroit, you're going to need performances like that from Donovan Mitchell when he really didn't have to play any serious minutes in the fourth quarter. I could tell from the beginning of the game, the way he was attacking and finding teammates, getting them shots early, that it was going to be one of those games for him. The question was my third point going into it. I try to give 3 keys to the game, which we will again tomorrow ahead of the Eastern Conference Finals Game 1 matchup over at MSG. Was an other needed to step up. I said a Max Strus, or maybe a Sam Merrill. Or Dennis Schroeder, one of those guys. And Sam Merrill did 23 points on 5 made threes. So you're probably going to need 4 to 5 threes from Merrill. He knocked down 5. Tough, gritty, took that foul on that charge. Sam Merrill was turning into, like I said before, kind of like he's 6'4", so he's taller than Peyton Pritchard, but that kind of person for this Cavs team. He's making layups too. He's able to do a lot of things. And some decent defense. He's not going to light the world on fire. He's not going to make the All-NBA defensive team next year. But, he's one of those guys that could really be a difference maker for you in a game or 2 in a series. And he showed it. 23 big points. Got some good contributions. Jared Allen had another solid game. 23 points, 7 rebounds for Allen. Mobley had 21, I believe. James Harden just kind of did what he was supposed to do. He didn't turn the ball over too much. Still turned it over a little bit. But they didn't ask him to do much. Get us anywhere from 10 to 15 points, grab some rebounds, set up a few guys for some open shots, that kind of thing. Did what he was supposed to do. Cavs got the win. Unbelievable performance from the guys that you needed to see it from. And now, of course, the big question is New York. The Knicks, after going down 2-1 in that series in the first round against Atlanta, have rattled off just win after win after win. I believe if the math is correct, that would technically be, 7 straight wins? And I think they're averaging, their point differential was like beating their opponents by 25 points per game. And again, I get it. Philly, not as talented as Boston. Philly, their Game 7, the first round against Boston, was Philly's Game 7 of the NBA Finals as far as they were concerned. They just wanted to win one of those for once. They were playing with house money when they got in the second round. Except if your name was Daryl Morey. And then coming back down 2-1 against the Hawks, one of those gritty teams that just didn't seem like they were going to go away, and New York found a way to figure it out, and they figured it out. And they're playing great. And now the added bonus in all this is getting OG Anunoby back. Guy who's had a pretty good season. Everyone's saying he had this crazy, amazing season. I don't buy that shit. Like, if you stats or whatever, like, it's a good season. Like, he had a good season. but he's a difference maker. 6'5", the length at the guard spot, can guard essentially 1 through 3 or 4. You know about Mikal Bridges and what he does. He had a bit of an offseason offensively, but again, the length, the defense, he can't hide it. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns being on this team is the other avenue that you look at just because of what he can do from the outside. He's not going to be like a Sort Thompson. Evan Mobley got a break on the defensive end as far as having to run around too much because he was able to kind of stay in the paint for 75 to 80% of their possessions because there's no threat. Whereas Cat, possibly the best shooting big man in the league. I mean, it's going to be a different kind of series. I do think that pace-wise, New York's played a bit faster, but in general, lineup matchups, offense versus offense, this matchup is better for Cleveland. New York's not known to be this crazy aggressive defensive team, even though Mike Brown's the defensive coach and he's the head coach now, even though Tom Thibodeau was the coach before. They still don't really have – they have a couple guys that play some good defense, but Karl Anthony Towns isn't letting the world on fire. Mitchell Robinson, it's not been a good year, but he's been hurt. So, but I guess he loves getting up for the Cavs, so we'll see how that goes. Jared Allen, should look at this series and say, okay, 3 years ago, I was saying the lights were too bright. I couldn't handle it. Now, we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is the second brightest lights you could get into. He's got to be able to figure it out and get the job done. And we're going to talk about Jared in a second because I saw something that was out on social media after the game last night that was interesting, and I want to kind of see where your guys' heads are at. We may even post a poll on this on the Facebook page. Again, don't forget to follow Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell on Facebook. Just search it in the tab bar, top of your app on Facebook, and you can do that. Jared Allen's got to look at this series like, yeah. Evan Mobley's got to look at this series like, okay, I got Cat on me. Got speed. Got some length over Cat, too. Mobley's going to have to be aggressive. Donovan Mitchell, and this is the thing that I've seen a lot of analysts point out, and they're not wrong. It's the off-ball movement of guys like Brunson and Anunoby and Mikal Bridges that gets the Cavs. You saw a lot of those off screens for Duncan Robinson or one of the other scorers. There wasn't many, but one of the other shooters on Detroit's team, those off-ball screens that was like a lob pass over the top into a shot, and the Cavs had no answer for it. They're doubling the screener, and the shooter's getting open. In this series against New York, they almost have to double the shooter and let the guy shriek inside and get a layup before you give up all these threes. Because if New York gets hot from the outside, with the amount of shooters they have, because at any point they could have 4 guys running that could all hit threes at around a 40% clip. That's not good. That's going to equal problems for Cleveland, and it could equal a quick exit. I've seen some people say, Knicks in 5. I don't buy that. I think the Cavs, they like to make things difficult. Even when they lose, they like to make things difficult. So I would say this series goes at least 6. But that being said, the way that New York has played basketball up until this point, and their sense of urgency in these games to build these leads and keep them, it's tough. And again, the Cavs have this unfortunate tendency of running into the wrong team at the wrong time. Last year was Indiana, a team that was kind of a middle-of-the-road team with a really good point guard who all just got hot from January till June. I think the second best record in basketball the second half of the season. They ran into the Pacers. The Cavs did as the 1 seed, 60-plus wins, all this momentum. Some injuries still, but they fought through it, and they battled against Indy, and they lose in 5 in the East semis last year. Now New York, playing really good basketball the second half of the season. They move all the way up to the 3 seed, passing Cleveland, all that stuff, and then now they kind of hang out there. They start off their playoff run a little rough, and then they bounce back. They've won 7 straight, and they've played some of the best basketball I've seen that group play together, period, since that Cat trade. So, I don't know, man. If I'm a betting man, I say Knicks in 6. I'm a Cavs fan, but I'm also a realist, and that's one thing I won't do to you guys when you're on here. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you how I feel and what I think. That's what Unfiltered is for, is to be unfiltered and to be unapologetically myself and tell you where my head's at. And I look at this situation with this Knicks team. Though the Cavs may match up scheme-wise better, And though the Cavs may, and this is very close, they may have more talent on the roster. It's tough to say because to me, Brunson and Mitchell may be a toss-up at this point. Ironically enough, Brunson may have been the Cavs targeted if they didn't get Mitchell in that trade. You never know, but we'll never know. And then Harden, does that offset Anunoby or Mikal Bridges? Mobley, Cat. I mean, Cat's got better stat lines, but Mobley's a better defensive player and probably a better all-around player than Cat consistently. I don't know. Talent's close. Maybe you give the edge to Cleveland, but for just the way New York is playing. If Cleveland can play like they did last night, running essentially like a chicken with their heads cut off on defense, good closeouts, contending shots, contested shots, I think they still gave up 11 or 12 threes, which is, again, turnovers and 3 points allowed is going to be such a big part of the series again for Cleveland to determine if they win it in 5 or 6 or if they lose it in 6 or 7. But I don't know. When your owner comes out and says we need to make the finals this year, like the Knicks owner has, there's a different level of expectation with that club. Whereas Cleveland's like, hey, are we ever going to get past the second round? Because it was always core four. And then you trade one of them, bring in James Harden. And now it's okay, we need to see improvement. They've improved. Are the Cavs going to get complacent? Part of that complacency brings up the question that was posted on a couple different platforms, and it was brought up, ironically enough, after Jared Allen had a couple of really big Game 7s this postseason. So I posed the question because I saw it. I'm curious, would you trade Jared Allen? And the proposed trade was to the Lakers to be a loud threat with Luka Doncic. The trade would send Jared Allen from the Cavaliers to LA for DeAndre Ayton, Jared Vanderbilt, and a 2031 first-round pick, which would be top 4 protected. But let's be honest, Luke is going to be playing past 2031, so that'll be probably, at the worst, a pick in the late teens, early 20s. If you would have asked me this question before Game 7 of the first round of the playoffs, I probably would have said, you know what, not bad. DeAndre Ayton's younger. He matches more. He can match the timeline of Mobley, and he can play a true center down low, can still shoot the ball from the mid-range, gets rebounds. He rebounds the basketball. That's the big thing. He rebounds, and he can block shots. He's big. I think he's very underrated. He's a former number 1 overall pick. Jared Vanderbilt's that wing that the Cavs have kind of needed. If you can't sign LeBron, I look at Jared Vanderbilt and I said, hell, that's not a bad piece to throw in the starting lineup. And you can bring Strus and Merrill off the bench and let them hit the guys, a couple of jabs and haymakers, hitting some threes off the bench, defense off the bench, that kind of stuff. And a first-round pick in 2031. You start getting some of those picks back. Maybe a little more financial flexibility, too, when it comes to trying to re-sign Donovan and all that stuff in this offseason, depending on how this all goes. He may sign, it could be a 4-year deal in the offseason, or he can wait 1 more year and sign a 5-year deal. I think if he signs the 5-year deal, it could be up to like $350 million, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. But got to think, too, he's 29 now. At that position, already not showing as much explosiveness as he has. Hell, even early in the season. Yeah, long year, I get it. But still. 4 years, 5 years, you decide. I don't know. Part of me wonders and worries. Jared Allen has been kind of like the leader of this team. Until last night, he was the guy that was delivering in clutch moments and putting up points, rebounds, making plays, offense to defense, whatever. And obviously Donovan had maybe his best game of his career last night. Not his best shooting game of his career, not overall. In the moment, that was probably one of Donovan Mitchell's best games ever. But Jared Allen may be the heart and soul of this team, and I don't know if you can trade that. I think you maybe have to trade Mobley before you would trade Jared Allen. And you're not getting DeAndre Ayton and Jared Vanderbilt and a first-round pick 5 years from now for Evan Mobley. You're getting Giannis from Mobley. So this series will be interesting because if the Cavs do find a way to get to the finals, okay, maybe we're cooking with something here. Maybe you run it back next season. If you don't, and the Knicks win in 5 or they win in 6, it's the perfect talking point about Mobley, and it's the perfect talking point about LeBron. He's the last piece. moving Mobley to get Giannis, that could be the last piece. It's going to be fun. And I can promise you either way, I'm probably going to get frustrated throughout this conference final. So excited to see it, fun to talk about it. And of course, we'll get some keys to the game tomorrow ahead of that matchup. Double A is going to have Tim Alcorn on tonight. Another special guest on tomorrow as well. We're going to hear all about that on Midnight Run. And tonight, of course, 7 p.m. Is going to be the interview with Tim Alcorn. So excited to see that, breaking down what happened and what's to come with the Cavs. So make sure you guys tune in for that here on the Inside Edge Network. And with that, we'll take a quick break. On the other side, some more news and notes, getting into the actual news of the area after the Cavs. The Asian Festival, the Cleveland Asian Festival, was this weekend. I actually ran into that because I had to play tennis downtown on Saturday, and I couldn't get to CSU. Thank you for that. Awesome event, but they had to shut down early. We'll tell you why. Plus, the IX Center, some land over there. Finally starting to get some answers after decades of issues with the city of Cleveland and Brook Park. We'll talk about that. Plus, the Cleveland Marathon was also this weekend. What a crazy event. And how about the winner on the women's side? We'll talk about how special her achievement was. That Valley Forge students in Parma doing something a little special to step up to the plate. And we're going to put a cap on a story that happened a couple weeks ago that we broke to you here. We talked about it here on Unfiltered, from a small town in Georgia involving their mayor and the police force. You don't want to miss an update on that. All that and more coming up here on Unfiltered. Stay with us. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that bray.
For all time's sake. As time goes by. It's been a long time. Some of the old songs.
You know, one of the things about having this haircut now is to just wake up and start my day. This is honestly awesome. I don't know why Eli wouldn't want this. And again, a reminder, folks, not only, of course, to like, subscribe, and punch that notification bell to make sure you get all the updates about as far as when we go live here on the Inside Edge Network. You see right there at Inside Edge Net across all the different social media platforms. But do not forget, head over to the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Check out all the different personalities. We even got a news tab up there now, a couple of sports stories up there. How about that? Double A starting to flex his muscles as far as being the program director and knocking some things out. But don't forget, merchandise shop. We need 10 items sold by the end of this month so I can make Eli look like this. If you want to know what Eli looks like, make sure you guys watch Inside Edge Primetime tonight, 10 to 11. And don't forget to use that promo code INSIDER, by the way. You see there at the bottom of your screen, too. So you get 20% off. So 20% off. We need to sell just 10 items. All you have to do is go to the website, look it up, type in that promo code in your cart when you get to the end there. Some great stuff, man. Shirts, polos. We got a windbreaker jacket. We got hats. We got cups, mugs, all the fun stuff. It's a great selection, different colors, options, all that. So make sure you guys head over there and do that. I want to make him look like this. I want to make Eli's life easier. That's kind of the whole point of all this. He's been talking about getting a haircut. He's been looking for barbers. He doesn't have to look further than just me. So we want to make this happen. Get over there to Inside Edge Network. We'll give you guys updates as the sales start rolling in and as we can not only support us, but also support our brother Eli and get him that haircut he so desperately needs. All right, so the Cleveland Asian Festival was this weekend. It's a truly awesome event, guys. And if you're in and around downtown Cleveland, pretty much from this time of year all the way through October, and honestly through the winter months too, it's a little more sparing because it gets cold down by the lakefront. But really in the summer months and even through the fall, there's always something going on downtown. And this is kind of like one of the kickoff events that kind of gets things going. This is an awesome festival, the Asian Festival downtown. But they had some issues this weekend. And again, photo courtesy of News 5 Cleveland, who were down there checking this out. It's normally a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. I would know because I played tennis early Saturday morning and I couldn't get down Payne Avenue. That's where I normally go to play tennis at CSU in the bubble down there. And I'll tell you what, I had to take a long square around all the way to Superior, back up to 21st to eventually get to where I needed to go. But turns out Saturday, rain for part of the day, mainly in the afternoon, evening, kind of put a nix on it. Only about 10,000 people showed up on Saturday. But Sunday, they were set to break a record until that darn heat came in. Because, we've been talking about the weather bouncing back and forth more like a ping pong ball or like Pong if you're playing, Atari back in the 70s and 80s. But this was something special. It got super hot yesterday. Sun was out. We love seeing that. Problem was, I don't think people were really truly ready for it. Couple of medical emergencies, heat exhaustion being the big thing, kind of occurred, and overcrowding. Again, it's an estimated number right now. Last year, around 50,000 people attended this event. This year, mentioned a little around 10,000 or so on Saturday because of the rain. Sunday, they had over 50,000 people down there at one point. Overcrowding, heat exhaustion, medical emergencies. It led them to call it 3 hours early. They had to close up shop a bit early downtown for this. I think this is a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing from a standpoint of, a lot of people, not a lot of space. It's not a safety as in there was an issue from someone causing something. It's an issue as in like, hey, it's too damn hot. There's too many people. People are passing out in lines. It's a whole thing. The bad thing is you see some of the stories from some of the vendors. Saw one story in particular, a couple that drove up from St. Louis, 8-hour drive from St. Louis up to Cleveland, set up shop on Sunday morning, had to take it down 3 hours early, and they were told they couldn't sell anything anymore because they were closing up shop. That would suck. If you're a vendor, you're a business owner who's in the event, who's trying to take advantage of the opportunity to get in front of some people. But I will say this. For those of the people that say nobody wants to come to Cleveland and nobody wants to do anything here and all that stuff like that, I mean, look at this kind of event. Look at the culture that it brings. The Asian culture in Northeast Ohio is rich, especially downtown. What they've been able to do, that group. I mean, and it's a sizable chunk of the population too. And the melting pot that is Northeast Ohio continues. I know on my end, being from the Parma area, it's been the Ukrainian, the Polish population, stuff like that. In different parts, there's different communities. You love seeing that kind of turnout for people that are just looking to experience something new and different and trying these kinds of things, trying the foods, looking at the different things that these business owners have made and all that stuff. It's really an awesome cultural event. There's a lot like I said, that goes on in downtown Cleveland and not really all across Northeast Ohio, but we like to highlight downtown to get more people to check it out and kind of keep downtown moving in a positive direction as opposed to moving backwards like it seemed like it was for a long time. So this was an awesome event. Sucks that it had to end early. Sucks that it took me about 20 minutes after I got into downtown to actually get to where I was trying to go. But still, great event and looking forward to it next year. Maybe I actually have to go to this next year when it comes back because this saw a lot of cool things. Even when I was driving by, I was like, oh, if I didn't have to get there, maybe I would pull over and stop and check it out. So, yeah, and again, shout out to our first responders, EMS that were down there. Not an easy task with that many people in a location trying to control that and make sure everyone's okay. And again, when they're having problems getting to people that are having issues and medical emergencies and stuff, that's kind of when you may just hit the blow the whistle on it. Be like, hey, as important as this is, we need to kind of call this because we can't get to do our job. And that's what they had to do. But still, an awesome event. Excited for next year and excited for all of what we got planned this summer in Northeast Ohio. It's going to be a fun time, especially downtown. All right, another quick break here on Unfiltered. When we come back, I got to get into the story about the city of Cleveland versus Brook Park. Dun, dun. No, we're not talking about the new Brown Stadium. Not anymore. It's close, but not quite that. This deal involving the IX Center, that land, there's land next to it too. We have to get into this because apparently this has been going on for essentially 25 years, this issue between the two cities. And it looks like maybe it could finally be coming to an end as soon as the end of this year. So we'll see what happens with that. We're going to talk about that next on Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell. Thank you so much for stopping by. We are back after this. Maser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Maser and his wife, Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MaserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MaserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
So here's the cool thing. The Cavs won last night. I'm here with my main event guys, Rob Rizicki and Eli Moon. Make sure you watch Midnight Run later on tonight. But Rob, I got to tell you, it felt much better to do a Cavs winning post game than a losing post game.
It felt better and unexpected. I think all of us thought of all the shows we were going to do Sunday night, doing the postmortem on the second round series for the Cavaliers. A blowout win by 31 points in favor of the Cavs was not on the list of probabilities here. So, yeah, it was a very pleasant surprise. Very happy to talk about 2 consecutive Game 7s now that we have had happy post games for. So I hope we can keep the string going.
Main event on Sunday nights here on the Inside Edge Network. And then Eli Moon and Chad Bryan have you covered tonight with Inside Edge Prime Time at 10 o'clock. And then I'll be with you for Midnight Run coming up tonight at midnight right here on the Inside Edge Network and on our socials at Inside Edge Net.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that bray.
For all time's sake. As time goes by. It's been a long time. Some of the old songs.
Welcome back, guys. Unfiltered here on the Inside Edge Network. Man, talking to producer Eli off camera for a second. I'll say it. We need to get Rob Ruzicki a new damn camera. It's driving me insane, brother. So good at what he does, great at talking points. Obviously, great chemistry with Double A and with Eli on Main Event. Again, Sunday evenings, guys. If you miss it, tune in. It's a great show. They've been doing that show, since we started broadcasting school over a decade ago. They've had that experience and that camaraderie together, and it's a great program. I've even said it off air to the guys. It was one of those shows that I strive to try and be like, and I tried to get there. And of course, for all of our different programming, Inside Edge Net, at Inside Edge Net across YouTube, X, Facebook, IG, TikTok, all the socials, websites, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. But I swear to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, I will take the camera to you. Rob, if you're watching this in between shifts of your main jobs or whatever you got going on, brother, man, I will take it to you. I'll talk to Pete when we get the Pro Wrestling Podcast done this week. Side Hustle Wrestling Pod airs Friday mornings here on Inside Edge Network, and I will take it to you. My God, it sounds like there's a chipmunk just chirping, but it's like on repeat, and it's like every 1 second in the background. I'm running out of analogies at this point. We got to make that happen. Speaking of making it happen, how about the city of Cleveland and Brook Park coming together? Not just for the Brown Stadium, not just to figure out what's next when it comes to everyone's favorite, the orange and brown, but also the IX Center and the land that it stands on. This story came out today. Apparently, there's been an agreement between the city of Cleveland and the city of Brook Park to reach a deal to end the land fight that's been going on involving the IX Center. Beautiful picture of it there. And the land surrounding it. There's a tax sharing agreement that's been in place for the cities for the land. Cleveland, and this is how this would go. The agreement would shake out kind of like this. Cleveland would keep all municipal tax revenues from both properties. Okay, Cleveland would give Brook Park 34 acres of vacant land and would pay $23.45 million in cash, $2 million up front. The rest should be spread out over a bunch of years in this deal. Now, if you're wondering, this issue dates back to 2001. It's a 25-year-old dispute. Oh, my goodness. It all stemmed from a runway addition that never happened. That obviously sparked this battle that's been going on for, quarter of a century. And the runway never got built. City of Cleveland bought a bunch of vacant properties. They were trying to build this out. Just never ended up working out, never ended up happening. Extra runways for Hopkins, because this is right by Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Not too far from the Browns' planned new dome stadium. Cleveland, what they're trying to do, the city, they're looking to change the IX Center into a employment hub. Talking about manufacturing, aerospace, defense, and some other things too in that arena. The IX Center hosted its last event as the IX Center, I believe, earlier this year. I think maybe it was like February, March, their last show, so to speak. I think it was either the Home and Garden or it was one of the boat shows or something like that. There was talk about just tearing it down, but what it cost the city of Cleveland tens of millions of dollars. And there was some interest between different companies. But hey, we could use that building. We could put stuff inside of there. It's got good bones. We can make this work. So Cleveland now, again, re-engaging with Brook Park, trying to figure it out. They've come to an agreement on this. At least they say they have. Now, the big asterisk in all this is that both city councils still have to approve this deal. It's kind of like when you shake someone's hand in the legal world, but you don't sign a contract. It's we got a handshake deal. Now, the thing about handshakes is they're not written down, and people conveniently can forget they shook your hand. So we'll see what happens in the end of all this. But still, the goal, at least from Mayor Bibb in the city of Cleveland, is to have this all be wrapped up before the end of this year so they can move forward. They can start trying to get some businesses in there, start renovating this spot, some of this land. And the city of Brook Park is looking at this from a standpoint of, because the Browns are putting a new stadium in the city, not too far, this can kind of be another boom for the city of Brook Park. Okay, we got a bunch of people working in our city now. We got the Browns who play in our city. It's going to draw more people. It's going to draw more attention, and the city of Brook Park's going to get even bigger. This is, and I know maybe it doesn't seem like that big a deal, but like the things that Brook Park has going on, we talked about Parma being kind of like the main suburb of Cleveland, and it has been still the seventh largest city in the state of Ohio. But like Brook Park is going to have a need. Like they're going to be growing a lot because of all this. And I imagine that city council's got their hands full when it comes to just trying to get more property in to build houses, apartments, whatever it is. They've got the whole hotel issue. That's one of the big issues that a lot of people have had with the Brown Stadium, is that there's not going to be enough hotels to accommodate major events like having Taylor Swift show up to Cleveland, or, having one of these, like, the WrestleManias or the Super Bowls or the Final Fours or any of that stuff. Are they going to be able to support housing that many people for certain amounts of time, be it a weekend, be it, a stretch of days? I mean, college football playoff championship, could they have that there? Could they afford it? Will they have the space? They'll have the room in the stadium, but can they support that many people being around in Brook Park? Because it's not downtown Cleveland. And again, it's not like downtown Cleveland has they have hotels downtown, obviously, but like it's not like there's all this space downtown to support this either. I think the study was out, and I think actually our buddy over at the Jake Underwood show, Jake Underwood, was telling me over the weekend, like, yeah, they need like a crazy amount of hotel space, and even if they kept the stadium downtown, they still couldn't find. They built a dome stadium on the lake. They still wouldn't be able to have enough hotel rooms and enough hotel space to accommodate those major events on projections, at least now. So any way you look at it, it's going to be tough to get some of those bigger events here, but the hope is that they figure out a way. Okay, if you can't stay in Brook Park, you got to stay in Independence or Brunswick, or you do stay in downtown Cleveland and enjoy downtown, and you go to the event in Brook Park. You take the RTA down there, or you take the Rapid down there, whatever it is. I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. And again, they're putting all this money into the stadium and into this project now too. And you would think there's got to be some answers for this. But I think it's very interesting, the relationship now between the city of Park in the city of Cleveland. They've almost been forced. Like, no, we have to get along because we got all this shit going on. We don't have a choice. Like, there's a lot that they're going through and dealing with. End of the year. If you know anything about city councils, maybe they'll get done in 3. I shouldn't say that. I should. It's a judging off of prior experience dealing with different matters that happen with city council, with the leadership in different communities. And then the other added bonus in all this is because it's so close to Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, they also made an approval from the FAA based on what they plan to do and what lands they divvy up and all that stuff. So there's some red tape to cut through to get this done. But at least on the surface right now, it appears like these two cities have been able to figure things out, and they're on their way towards getting this whole situation sorted out. Because, good Lord, 2001. On a side note, too, how sad is it the Ice Center is going to be going away? I remember when I was a kid, I think I was in elementary school. One time, my brother took me out of school early and took me down, and we went to the IX Center, and I had so much fun. We're going there as a kid. I wish it was still going to be around. Take my son to it. He's 8. He'd love that. That's a bummer. We lost Yaga Lake. we lost the IX Center now. Cedar Point's still going. That's cool. But, like, man, does that mean officially I'm getting old? I have no idea. Hey, when we come back on Unfiltered, we got to talk about this winner of the women's marathon, the Cleveland Marathon here in Northeast Ohio. A feat that I can't even fathom, and it's not even just because I don't like running. The fact that she did this and how many times she's done this is truly truly remarkable. If you guys have watched the show over the past few weeks, remember we brought up the situation that happened in Parma at Valley Forge, the student taking their life now weeks and weeks ago. The students at Valley Forge started to do something special to try and help cope with what's going on and trying to breed some positivity into a situation that doesn't have a lot of positives. We're going to get into that, what they're doing. And a nice little cap on a story that happened down in Georgia. One of the wackiest stories I've ever heard looks like it's finally coming to a head, and we're finally going to get a resolution about everything that happened down there in Cohutta, Georgia. We're going to break down all that coming up next, right here on Unfiltered. Do not change the station.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays, running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick. With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh. I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that bray.
For all time's sake. As time goes by. It's been a long time. Some of the old songs.
Welcome back, folks. Unfiltered here on your Monday, May 18th, 2026, final segment of the show as we get you geared up for a great evening of content here on the Inside Edge Network. Don't forget, 7 o'clock, ROAA, Anthony Alfred sits down with Tim Alcorn, the voice of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm going to break down what happened in this past series. The Cavs got the job done, made it all happen. Now they go on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Plus, they're going to preview that series against the Knicks that starts tomorrow night. And again, of course, don't forget, like, subscribe, punch the notification bell you see at the bottom of your screen at Inside Edge Net across all social media platforms. And check out our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com, for the latest on show, rundown, personalities, and, of course, the ever so personable merchandise shop. After that, tonight, don't forget, 10 to 11, Inside Edge Prime Time with Chad and Eli. We'll bring in Eli in a few minutes here to talk about what they got going on Prime Time tonight. And Double A's going to be back for you. Midnight Run at midnight. That's right. An eventful week in the world of sports, not only in Cleveland, but all across. SGA wins his second MVP back-to-back. Impressive. Got a first-time winner of the PGA Championship this weekend. Adam Rye, what a great round for him, getting the job done. 5 under on Sunday over in our sister state next door, Pennsylvania. Happy for him. Watched Rory live for a little bit yesterday. That was fun. Well, it wasn't. He kind of just dropped the ball, but a lot of stuff going on in the sports world. Guys, going to have it for you tonight here on Inside Edge Network. All right, so let's talk about this. The Cleveland Marathon, great event, happens every year. The coolest thing you see right there is the winner of the women's marathon, 36-year-old Ashton Swinford. She got the job done. You know what? Hey, one win is an accomplishment in your own right, 26-plus miles, finishing first. Hell of a run for Ashton. I believe she's out of Hudson. What a job. But it's not just her first win. It's her 5th win. Her 5th. I know what you're thinking. Okay, 5. So what? She won it, and then she took some time, and maybe she had a couple years where she dropped it, and she came back. And no, guys. Nope. 5th time in a row. 5th time in a row she's won the Cleveland Marathon. The women's Cleveland Marathon. I think we found the Michael Jordan of marathons in Northeast Ohio. Oh my goodness. The dynasty continues. I may actually reach out to her tonight and see if she wants to come on the show tomorrow or something like that, because that's 5 times. 5 in a row. And she's only 36. This dynasty could live on. But at that point, what do you have to prove, you know? So impressive. I've always wanted to get inside the mind of a runner, too, because I played a little bit of collegiate athletics. I've played competitive sports for essentially most, if not all, of my life, and I've never enjoyed running. It's never been something where I'm like, you know what I want to do today? I want to run 10 miles. But I'll tell you what, she did that almost 3 times over and has done it better than anyone else in that marathon for 5 straight years now. That's mind-blowing. So congrats, Ashton. We're going to see maybe if we can get her on the show, because that'd be an awesome little interview to have. My goodness, so impressive. What's also impressive is what the kids over at Valley Forge High School are doing in Parma. You see it on the screen now. It is called Forge Strong. It's an initiative launched by some students at the school, some of the football parents, and some others that are in the Parma City Schools community. The goal is to bring positivity to the school and to renovate areas that have brought up painful memories. Now, remember, this school is where the shooting happened a few weeks ago, a couple weeks back, where the student took her own life in the cafeteria in front of other students just at 2 o'clock at Valley Forge High School. Sherwin-Williams has actually agreed to partner with them, and they're going to be donating some paint. Again, the goal obviously is to have some cleanup, some restoration efforts around the school. There's actually a GoFundMe attached to the story we've shared on our Facebook page. Again, go to Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell. You can scroll down. Like I mentioned before, guys, a lot of the stories we talk about a little bit more in depth on this show. It's not like a newscast where we kind of have to roll through a bunch of stories. You get maybe 30 seconds to a minute on a story and you move on. We get into detail about some of these stories. A lot of the times we share them on the Facebook page so you can kind of get your feet wet a little bit. And I can give you more of the details, obviously, from my perspective, being in news for as long as I have been. But there is a GoFundMe attached in that story to support, to try and get, sod and different things donated to the school so the group can kind of make their rounds and do what they can do. Such a special group of kids that are trying to do this in the community in Parma schools. And for the criticisms we've given them when it comes to safety and how they're handling certain things, I mean, I give it up to the kids, the parents, the folks in the school community that have decided to do this and are trying to work to just try and make the school better and try to make something positive come out of something so negative and so tragic. And there's obviously so many questions that still stand as far as what's next and how they handle safety in those schools moving forward, but specifically that one and obviously throughout the entire district. But this is a bright light on something that just was very dark for a long period of time. So a personal thank you as someone who graduated from the Parma School District and someone who, like I mentioned, still obviously has a son. He goes to private school in Parma, but at the same point, I live right next to Parma. Ex-wife still lives in Parma, not too far from Valley Forge. Like it's important. the community means a lot to me, means a lot to us and our family. And we have family that still live in Parma. All of my family essentially still does on my mom's side. So it means a lot what they're doing, what they're attempting to do. And sometimes it takes this kind of thing to put a boot in the butt of some of the other people that are, running the district, running the schools. And even something like this, as simple as just trying to make the school look a little better, try and help kids through this. I mean, it's impactful. So thank you from me to you guys on that. Last thing, what a cap to this story out of Cohutta, Georgia. From up, Eli. Let's see the now former mayor of Cohutta, Georgia, Rob Shinnick. Our friend Robbie. He has officially submitted his resignation after one of the craziest stories I've ever read in 7+ years of doing news across literally the entire country. If you guys forget, this all broke down. Mr. Shinnick's wife was employed by the city. She was let go from her job earlier this year. She was, I believe, an administrator or a city clerk, something along those lines, for, again, a hostile work environment, not being a good employee, that kind of thing. The issue was that when she was let go, she still had access to files, records, and it was affecting police officers' pay. They write an open letter. They post it on social media. There's said to be an agreement that, okay, you guys heard your grievances, whatever, let's move on. And then, shortly after, Mayor Shinnick decided to fire the entire police force. Now, small town in Georgia, only 10 people, but still 10 people, 10 lives ruined because they couldn't get their shit together with everything else that was going on. But the city council didn't let it go. Shortly after, the city council reinstated the police officers. Mayor Shinnick avoided that meeting. He also avoided a meeting to discuss his future, and he tendered his resignation on Friday. So they're going to meet this week and find a new mayor, thank God. Mayor Shinnick, thank you for your service, and now you and your wife have something in common. You both no longer work for the city, so that's cool. All right, let's bring in Eli really quick before we head out. Talk about an Inside Edge prime time tonight. Mr. Mooningham, what do you have going on in the show?
Oh, my goodness, Kyle. Well, first off, can you hear me? Okay, tremendous. I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can hear me, what we're talking about on prime time, we're going to talk about the NBA MVP discussion. We're going to talk about the Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano fight, and, of course, some Cavs reaction as well. Still riding the high of Game 7 and see what's going on there, pal.
All right. Awesome, Eli. Good. He's not going to like this, but I didn't hear a word he said. It's only him. We had Jake on last Thursday. Anytime we have, I do a post-game show, I can hear everybody, but for some reason, I think he's fucking with you guys. I don't know. I think Eli's just messing with me at this point. But great stuff, as always. Make sure you guys tune in, of course. Inside Edge primetime tonight, 10 to 11. Don't forget Double A Anthony Alford, our program director, going to have Tim Alcorn, voice of the Cavaliers, on at 7 o'clock tonight here on the Inside Edge Network, talking about the series that just was with the Cavs. They found a way to pull it out on the road against Detroit. Huge win last night. Now they'll talk about what's to come. This New York Knicks team that's on a different level right now, playing some really good basketball. They got them starting tomorrow night in MSG, the Eastern Conference Finals. It's the biggest moment for this Cavs group since they've gotten together. This group of guys, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, now James Harden thrown into all this. He gets to go to another conference finals. Can James Harden get to his second career NBA finals? Can Donovan Mitchell get to the finals? Going to find out. And don't forget, tomorrow on the program, going to break down all the local news and notes that are happening here in Northeast Ohio. Some big stories for you. And we will give keys to this game for the Cavaliers. I think that maybe playing and not getting a lot of time off may help, but at the same point, it's also given the Knicks a chance to get a little bit more healthy. OG Anunoby expected to play every game in this series. We'll see how it all shakes out. We'll have, again, keys tomorrow here on Unfiltered. Thank you so much for stopping by, of course. And as always, before you go, just need you guys to know you always belong. You matter. You're worth it. You're doing great. You're loved. You can do anything. You have a voice, and I believe in you. And I will see you tomorrow right here on Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell. Have a good rest of your Monday. Back tomorrow.